don't go on. Okay. Hello. WeChat. I'll see the WeChat. Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Hi, good evening. Okay, hello everyone, this is Teacher Ma. Alright, so today is TASMO P3 and P4 sample paper run through. So me and Teacher Ma, me and Teacher Turner, will explain the sample paper. Okay, explain to you what are the question types and also what are the test points in the TASMO. Alright, so I'll begin with the TASMO P3 sample paper. Okay, so unlike P1, P2, and also K2, right? Unlike these papers, P3 paper has one new type of question. And so we have 3 different sections. In the section A, we have 10 multiple choice questions. And in section B, we have 10 short answer questions. So for this 10 short answer question, all you need to do is to fill in the answer. Right? And in section C, this is the new part. Right? The new part, we have 5 open-ended questions. So in this 5 open-ended questions, we'll give some mark to your workings. So you need to write down your workings and also as well as your answers. And so this is the new question type for our P3 and P4. So I'll start the sample paper. So I'll go through the sample paper. So I don't know if you have tried the sample paper or not. Right? If you have tried the sample paper, you can maybe key in a 1 in the chat box. So I know that you have tried the sample paper. Have you tried the sample paper? Yes, you can type 1 for try. Okay, you can type 1 for try. Oh, I see some of you have tried the sample paper, right? Okay. So yeah, so I'll go through some of the most important questions and also the difficult questions. Maybe the 5 open-ended questions in section C. Right, so let's look at the question 1. So in our section 8, the 10 multiple choices questions. These 10 questions are generally not very difficult. Okay, these questions are not very difficult. So most of them are GEP level question. So like this one, right? This one is just the pattern. It's a typical GEP question. So you can see the pattern here: 4, 8, 12, 16. So the next one, of course, it should be 20. Alright, so the first 10 questions, our design is the difficulty level will be not very high. And so if you have taken a GEP, right? So I guess most of the P3 parents, I guess many of you have taken the GEP this year. Alright. So if you have taken a GEP, it should be easy for you. Okay. Alright, so we can move on to the second one. Now, second one is also a typical question in GEP level, in GEP test. Alright, this is the calendar question. So when we see this type of calendar question, we can first write down the 4 weeks in a month. So in a given month, we know that in every month there are at least 28 days. Okay, so there are at least 28 days. So we can first take out the 28 days. And then we try to fill in the extra days. So in this question, we know that there are more Tuesday than Wednesday. Okay, so let me first write down the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So there are more Tuesday than Wednesday. So that means there are 5 Tuesdays. And there are more Mondays than Sundays. That means there are more one more Monday, right? 5 Mondays. Okay, so look at this calendar. Look at this calendar. What is the first day of that month? Huh? What is the first day of that month? Oh, okay. Okay, so from here we can see, right? So from this calendar, we can see the first day of the month. Right? It should be a Monday. It should be a Monday. So it start in this. It start in this way. Right? Sunday. Second week, third week, and the fourth week. Alright, so 4 week, and then we have 2 extra days. Alright, so that means the first day is Monday. Alright, if the first day is a Monday, now what is the third day? The third day is, of course, a Wednesday. Okay. Now this is another GP level question. Yes, okay, I see correct answers in the chat box. Alright, so I'll go to question 3. Question 3 is, it looks like a 3D diagram, but it actually tests you about the factorization. So how can we write 20 as a product of 3 numbers? So this is what question actually asking about. Okay, so yeah, I guess this one is also not very difficult, so we start with the easiest ones. Oh, someone says I can't see the screen clearly. Maybe I should. How about this? Okay, is it better? Alright, so basically we do factorize. Alright, so yes, I see Chloe give me one answer, so that's 1 times 2 times 10. And we also have, what we also have is we have 1 times 20, 1 times 1 times 4 times 5. Okay, and also we got 2 times 5, right? So that is in total 4. Okay, so all you need to do is to do a simple factorization. Okay, so I move on. Okay, so in this slide, I'll be more focused on explaining the test point. Okay, so some of the questions I might not go into the details. Okay, so for example, this one will test about the optimization. Alright, so we got 6 girls using 2 bathrooms. Alright, how can they finish as early as possible? Okay, so in this case, we simply average them out. Okay, we average them out. So the total time taken is 9 plus 11 plus 13 plus 18 plus 22 and plus 23. Okay, so we average them out because there are 2 bathrooms. So we divide by 2. So this should equals to, I believe it's equal to 48. And I believe this one equals to 48. So we try to make the time used in each classroom close to 48. Alright, so you can do like this: 9, 11, 18, 13, and maybe 22 and 23. Alright, so you can check the time used in the first bathroom, in bathroom number 1, is 49. Time used in second bathroom is 47. Alright, so are there any ways to improve this arrangement? Any ways to improve this arrangement? Okay, if you got a way to improve this arrangement, you can type a yes. If no, just type a no. Any ways to improve this? Oh, shoot. Yeah, you got a way to improve this? Okay, so yeah, so someone got a method to improve this. So how to improve this? How you arrange people in the first bathroom? You can give me 3 numbers. Okay, so if you try this one, there's actually no better way to improve this. Bathroom, okay, so let me see. Bathroom 1 have 23 and bathroom 2 have 22. So if I give bathroom 1 23, bathroom 2 22. Now bathroom 1 will take 50 minutes. Bathroom 1 will take 50 minutes, which is worse. Okay, so we'll keep in this way. Alright, so move on. We go to question 5. Question 5 is about the choose a line, logic reasoning. So the method we use here is the 2 method, right? We first find, is there any statement in contrast, or in agreement? And second method we're gonna use is the assumption. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this question very quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you one question. So is Amy and Bob, the 2 statements here, are they in contrast? Do we have a contradiction in Amy's statement and Bob's statement? Okay, so if we have a contradiction, you can type a 1. If no contradiction, you type a 2. Okay, if you have a contradiction, you type a 1. These 2 statements, do they have a contradiction? I see Jessica said yes. Right, so here we need to know the definition of in contrast, in contradiction. So this 2 actually does not exist a contradiction. Why? It is possible that both of their statements are not correct. It is possible. I see many people saying 1, right? There is a contradiction. Actually no. Okay, so the contradict statement looks like this. Okay, so the contradict statement looks like this. Not all of us are liars. Now these 2 are in contrast, are in contradict. Are in contrast. So Amy and Bob, these 2 statements, they can be both incorrect. So that's why they are not in contradiction. Okay, so since we don't have a contradiction, the method we're gonna use is the assumption. So you can start with assume. You can start with assuming this is the truth. Okay, so check whether we find any contradict. Right? Then you can also try assume what Bob said is the truth. Okay, then try to find a contradiction. So the correct answer for this one is D. Okay, so you can do the assumption by yourself. Alright, so we move on to the question 6. Okay, so here is yes, okay, I see Chloe already did it. Very good. So for this question, question 6, this is about the divisibility. So for primary 3 and new primary 4 students, you need to know the divisibility of 9, 3, also 2, 5, maybe 4, and 25. Okay, you need to know the rule of how to determine whether a number is a multiple of 9. Right, so what we use is we sum up all the digits. If the sum of digits is a multiple of 9, then the 5-digit number is a multiple of 9. Okay, so for this question, that means 4x plus 4 is a multiple of 9. Right, is a multiple of 9. Yeah. Okay, Chloe said you don't know. It's okay. So that's why you need to look at here. Right. So, for 3 and for 9, we look at the sum of digits, and we look at the sum of digits. And for 2 and 5, all we need to do is to look at the last digit. And for 4 and 25, we need to look at the last. We need to look at the last 2 digits. Yes. So the answer for this one, if you try, the answer for this one is D. Answer for this one is D. Okay, so I'll move on. Okay, so question 7 is about define new operation. So define new operation. This type of question is not difficult. Okay, all you need to do is to understand the question. What is question talking about? You need to understand what is question talking about. Okay, so here we define a new operation. We call it this, right? We call it a factorial actually. Okay, so basically it's you times 1 to the n. Okay, you times 1 to the n. The product of integers from 1 to n. Alright, so we want to find the number of hours in September can be written as n factorial. Alright, so we want to find the value for n. So for this question, we can first find how many hours do we have in September. Alright, who can give me the answer for this? How many hours do we have in September? How many days do we have in September? September got 31 days. Alright, so you can use your fist. You can use your fist to decide. Yes, September only got 30 days. Okay, so that's Chloe get the answer. It's actually 24 hours in a day times 30 days. So 720. Alright, very good. Okay, 720 hours. So what factorial equals to? N factorial equal to 720. Right? So what is n equals to? Here what we can do is do the factorize. Okay, we factorize it again. Factorize. So 720 equals to 30 times 24. Right? Meanwhile, 30 equals to 6 times 5. And 24 equals to 4 times 3 times 2. So we can times another 1 at the back. Alright, so this equals to 6 factorial. Alright, so the answer is B. Okay, so define new operation, all you need to do is to read the question carefully, understand the question. Alright. Okay, so move on to the next one. Alright, this one is about the access and shortage. Right, access and shortage. Alright, so this is another frequently tested type of question in GEP. Okay, access and shortage. So I guess most of you are more familiar to this question even than I do. Alright, so the method we can use is we can draw out. Right. So students go kayaking. They conclude that if they add an extra kayak. So let's say we initially have this many kayak. We don't know how many. Right? But if I give extra kayak, every kayak can sit except 6 people. So 6, 6, 6. Right? Every kayak 6 people. Now if I remove one kayak, right? If they remove one kayak, don't forget this is the original number of kayak they have. So remove one means remove this two. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to arrange there's 12 students to these kayaks, right? Okay, now we know that each kayak can now sit 9 people. So that means each kayak will sit 3 extra people. So 3 extra people. Alright, so how many kayak we have? We have 12 people left. Right? This 12 people will go to the remaining kayaks. And each kayak sits 3 extra people. So that's 12 divided by 3. I will give you 4. Alright, so in this 4 kayak, every kayak sits 9 students. So total it will be 4 times 9. 36. Alright, so this is about the access and shortage. We have another access and shortage question in the sample paper, okay? Yeah, so the answer is 36. Alright, so move on. Okay, so this one, teacher Yuxing asked each student in her class to draw a rectangle with integral side length and a parameter of 50 units. Right, all of her students calculate the area of the rectangle they draw. So rectangle we have length and the breadth. Now what we know is the length plus breadth. Okay, length plus breadth equals to 50 divided by 2. Because the parameter contains 2 sets of the length plus breadth. Right, so that's equals to 25. Right, we want to find the largest possible area. And the smallest possible area. So the test point in this question is, right? The test point is given sum of 2 numbers fixed. If the sum of 2 numbers is fixed, and if we want to find the maximum, then the difference should be as small as possible. The difference between L and B should be as small as possible. Yeah. Okay, so what is the smallest difference in this case? What is the smallest difference in this case? Right, the smallest difference in this case, right? When you calculate the smallest difference, you need to pay attention that they are integral, so basically integers. Okay, so you want them to be as close as possible. Look at the question, integral. So can the answer be decimals in this question? No. Okay, so that's why you need to read the question carefully. Okay, so since the answer cannot be decimal. So the smallest difference is simply 1. Alright, so 12 and 13. Okay. And now if we want to find the minimum product, if we want to find the minimum product, then we want the difference to be as big as possible. So what is the biggest possible difference? The biggest possible difference is, well, 1 and 24, because length and breadth cannot be 0. Right? Length and breadth cannot be 0. So the biggest difference is between two numbers, 1 and 24. Okay, now all you left is do the calculation. Okay, so you can do the calculation by yourself. Alright, now let's go to the question 10. Question 10 tests you about the multiples as well as the inclusion-exclusion. Okay, inclusion-exclusion. So for the inclusion-exclusion, you need to know that. You need to know about the Venn diagram. You need to know about the Venn diagram, and when you're calculating the total, you need to subtract the overlapping parts, right? The double counted parts. Okay, so let's look at this question. So the whole number are 1 to 2016 are written on the board, right? So underlines all the multiples of 2's in red, all the multiples of 3 in blue, and all the multiples of 4 in green. I want to find out how many numbers does Morris underline exactly twice. So we first find out how many numbers he underlined that is both a multiple of 2 and a multiple of 3. And so here is what we test about the multiples. Right, a multiple of 2 and also a multiple of 3. That means it is a multiple of 6. So we try to find out how many multiple of 6 we have in 2016 numbers. So 2016 divided by 6. Okay, so this will give you 336. 336. Alright, then we move on to find the underline both 2 and 4. So 2 and 4. If a number is both a multiple of 2 and a multiple of 4, that means it's a multiple of 4. Right? We find the least common multiples. So let's find how many multiples of 4 we have in 2016. Numbers. So divide by 4. So this should go to 504. Okay, then we move on to the number that is both multiple of 3 and multiple of 4. But still, we find the multiple of 12. So how many multiple of 12 we have? So 2016 divided by 12. Alright, so the answer is, I'll do the calculation for you. Alright, 168. Okay, now this part, we have calculated how many numbers. Right? How many numbers we have underlined twice. But when we count this, right, we are also counting the numbers that we underline 3 times. So we need to exclude these numbers. Okay, so we try to find the number that we count 3 times. So we find the multiple of 2, 3, and 4, which is the multiple of 12. Okay, so we find how many multiple of 12? 168. We have calculated. Okay, But the question is, how many times we need to subtract away the multiple of the numbers that we counted 3 times? So we actually have count this 168 numbers in this category, right? And we also count this 168 numbers in this category, and also in this category. So what we need to do is we sum up the numbers in each category, and then minus the parts that we don't want, right? The parts that are multiples of both 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so we times minus 3 times 168. So the answer should be equals to 504. Alright, so this question tells you about the inclusion, exclusion, as well as the multiples. So you need, when you do the calculation, when you try to find the total, you need to subtract, exclude the double counted, the overlapping area. Alright, so we move on. This one is about the 2D shape counting. 2D shape counting. Okay, so in 2D shape counting, the most important thing is you do categorization. Okay, you do categorization. So here in this question, you can categorize based on the number of small pieces. Okay, so what do I mean? So this one only contains 1 piece. Right, this one only contains 1 piece. Also, this one only contains 1 piece. So we count this one first. Okay, we count this type first. Alright, so meanwhile, I'll teach you a more advanced method. So this shape is we get from the rotation. We rotate this part by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we rotate this part by 6 times. So we rotate 6 times. And so all we need to do, 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. So all we need to do is well, the answer is 32. I see an answer 33. Stuck again. And so we can find out how many triangles in this part, right? How many triangles in this one? In this part, we can use the shooting method. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so in this part 6, because we rotate 5 times, we can simply times 5. But we're not finished yet. Okay, there are 2 triangles. There are 2 triangles here. Okay, this part we didn't count in. So that's why we need to plus extra 2 triangles. So equals to 32. Okay, equals to 32. Okay, so I move on. This one is about 2D shape counting. The main idea is the categorization. Hey, so move on. So this question is similar to the chicken rabbit. So I'll briefly introduce what method we're gonna use. The method we're gonna use is about the hypothesis. Or you can say it as the assumption method. Right? So what you do is you assume that he deliver all the vessels safely. So he deliver all vessels safely. So in this way, he can get 200. He gets oh, the question here is not correct. Okay, the question here is not correct. So the question should be if he delivers safely, right? If he delivers safely, then he get $2. Right? If he broke one, he needs to pay $10. He needs to pay $10. Alright, so that means if he deliver all the vessels, safely, right? How many money can he get? How much dollars he can get if he deliver all the vessels safely? Alright, so we simply use the number of vessels times. Yes, okay. I said Jun Chan got 400 times $2 because he got $2 for every single vessel he safely delivered. So 400. Alright, 400. If he deliver all the vessels safely, he got 400. But now he only get 280. That means he broken some, right? He broken some of the vessels. Right? But here is the key point you need to pay attention. Okay? So if he broke one vessel, he will get how many dollars less? The question is, if he broken one vase, he will get how many dollars less? Okay, so this is the key question here. This is the key question here. Yes, okay. He will get 12 less. Why? Because he didn't get the $2 and he needs to pay $10. Right? So 12. Okay, so in total he got 400 minus 280 less. Okay, he got 400 minus 280 less. So we divide by 12. We'll give you 10. That means he broke 10 vessels along the way. Okay? Alright, we move on. Let's see about the chicken rabbit. So we use the assumption method. So this one is about the multiplication principle. Multiplication principle. Alright, so for this type of question, we always start with the special place. So in this question, in the first question, which one is the special place? It's the middle place, right? It's the middle place. So we start with the middle place. You need to at each place, you need to think about how many choices do you have? Okay, how many choices do we have? So that means in the middle, we always start with the special, right? So that start with the middle. So the middle place, how many choices you have? You only got 4 choices because Nicole cannot stand in the middle. Alright, then we move on to the other positions. Alright, how many choices you have in the first position? You got 4. Yeah, you got 4 because because someone already stand in the middle. Right? How many for this one? For this one, you only get 3 because 2 people already have chosen their positions. Okay, so similarly, you got 2 and 1. And then finally, you use multiplication. So this one, what you will get is 96, I believe. Okay, so the second one is very similar. Okay. The second one is very similar. Right? You need to think about how many choices you have left. Right? Choice left. Someone have already stand in another position. Yes, okay? All right, so move on. Move on to this question. Okay, this is about the parameters. The question is not very difficult. Right? All you need to know is, say for example, if I know the sum of parameters of this three, right? I can push the side to the parameter of the big rectangle. So if you are given the sum of A, E, I, then you know the parameter of the big rectangle. Okay, so this is the only test point in this question. This is the only test point in this question. I'll skip this question. All right, the answer for this one is 30. All you need to do is to do careful calculation. Okay, careful calculation. So since we don't have much time, I need to spend more time on the difficult questions on the section C. All right, so I'm not gonna explain every question in detail. Okay, so all you need to know is to know the method to solve the question and try it by yourself. All right, so this is about the number magic square. Magic square. So in magic square, we have two important conclusions. Okay, so the first important conclusion is the magic sum. Magic sum equals to 3 times the middle number. And the second conclusion is what we are going to use here. Okay, it's called the golden triangle. It's called the golden triangle. And sometimes I call it the Y shape. So you start with the one of the corners, okay, connect to the middle, and you write a Y. Right, the formula here is, the conclusion is, okay, 8 equals to 2 times 8 equals to 10 plus Y. Alright, so using this, we can get Y equals to 6. Okay, so move on. This one is very similar to the question 9, so I'll skip. Okay, same method. If you want to find the maximum, I want the difference to be small. If you want to find the minimum, then you want the difference between two numbers to be big. Okay, very similar to the question 9, so I'll skip this one. Alright, this. Okay, so this is test you about the area and the common geometry model. Okay, this is a very common geometry model. So if you fill up the rectangle, okay, the rectangle, then the conclusion is, so let me label this A and this part is B. Okay, so the conclusion of this model, let me draw the model. So if you are given a rectangle, okay, and it's divided into 4 pieces, let me label A, B, C, D. Okay, then we have a conclusion about the area. Okay, the conclusion about area is A times D equals to B times C. A times D equals to B times C. Okay, so in this question, we can know the part B has area of 10. So that means part A times 10 equals to 12 times 15. So part A has, what is the area of part A? The area of part A equals to, okay, so the area of part A equals to 18. Alright, so the question mark, the area with question mark is half of the area of part A. So question mark has an area of 9. Okay, the question mark has an area of 9. Okay, so this is a conclusion that is very useful. You can try to remember. This is a model. And this model will be very useful if you want to try the TASMO. Alright, so move on. This is about the journey problem. Okay, there ain't many things to talk about the journey problem. All you need to know is about this pyramid. Right, distance, speed, and time. Alright, so the relationship between these two are between these three are distance equals to speed times time. Speed times time. Okay, and in the journey problem, there are two types: encounter and chasing. Encounter and chasing. When is this ending? So the P3 go through will be ending around 8. Okay, the P3 go through will be ending around 8. Alright, so when you do the encoding, we care about the sum of speed. Alright. Sum of speed. And in the chasing, we care about the difference between speed. Difference in speed. Okay, so in this question, we are dealing with two cars A, B travel in opposite directions. So this is encoding. Okay, so you can try to find the sum of speed and try to solve the problem. Alright, so I'll move on to next question. Next question is the number puzzles. The number puzzle. So number puzzle, there are some useful methods. Right, the first method you can use is you look at the last digit. Because at the last digit, we don't have a carryover. In the last digit, we have no carryover. So that's why we think about the last digit. No carry. Okay, so this first one. And the second one is you need to look at the number of digits. Alright, so for example, in this question, a 3-digit number plus a 3-digit number give you a 4-digit number. Okay, so what is the first digit of the 4-digit number? What value is D? What value is D? Right, a 3-digit number plus a 3-digit number, right? No matter how big is the 3-digit number, we can only get 1,000 something. So that means D equals to 1, okay? So D equals to 1. Then you think about the carryovers here, okay? So you can solve the problem by considering the carryovers. Okay, so I go to question 20. The question 20 tells you about the place value principle. Place value principle. So place value principle says, say for example, 4-digit number ABCD. 4-digit number ABCD. A is the 1000th digit. We call it 1000th digit, so that means this A actually means A times 1000. Okay, B is the 100th digit. So B is actually B times 100. And C is the 10th digit, so C times 10. D is the 1st digit, so this equals to D times 1. Okay, so for this question, we know that it's three digits form 6 numbers. Right, so we can write down A, B, C, A, C, B, B, A, C, B, C, A, C, A, B, and C, B, A. Okay, so 6 numbers. Yes, thank you, teacher Yuxing. Yes. Okay, so if we sum up all the 6 numbers, we can see this actually equals to A plus B plus C times 222. Times 222. So in this way, we can try to find out the sum of A, B, C. Okay, you need to do some enumeration in this question. Okay, so I move on to the part C, the open-ended question. So in the open-ended question, you need to write down your workings. Okay, so in the open-ended question, you need to write down the workings. Okay, so the first one is test you about the difference in squares. Alright, so you need to remember the formula of this. So A squared minus B squared equals to A plus B times A minus B. Okay, so for example, 6 squared minus 4 squared. So this equals to 6 plus 4 times 6 minus 4. Okay, so in this question, what we can do is we can pair two numbers together. Okay, so you do the calculation by yourself. Try use the formula and do the calculation by yourself. This question is easy. Okay, the 22 is the Joseph problem. It's the Joseph killing problem. So for the Joseph killing problem, we have a cat. We have a cat that start eat the mice. Right, so we start with the easy one. Okay, so let's say 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. According to the rule, the cat will eat all the ones. Okay, the cat will eat all the ones. So who will be the last one remaining? If n runs, if we have n runs, okay, if it's n runs in total, then the last one remain in the circle would be 2 to the n, the number 2 to the n's. Okay, so this is the key in this question. Alright, so for this question, we can assume that we start from the first. If we start from the first, which mice will be the last one remaining? Okay, so this one you can calculate. Okay, this is the part you can calculate. The closest 2 to the power of n's is 1024. Alright, so that means if we have 1024 mice left in the circle, the number 1024 will be the last one remaining. Okay, it will be the last one remaining. So you can try to follow this, okay, and figure out if we start with the number 1, if we start with the first mice, which mice will be the last one remaining? Would be last one remaining. Okay, so that's the key question. So the answer for this question, is 25. Okay, the answer for this question is 25. Alright, we'll move on to 26. So 26 is a sports game. Alright, sports game, you need to understand the rules. There are some typical rules. Right? Single round robin. So that means every team will play against each other once. Okay, and also we have the knockout. the knockout, right? So you try to eliminate some participants. Okay, so the trick when you consider how many games in the knockout stage is that, for example, if you have 32 teams, 32 teams play knockout, right? Play knockout. Now, how many teams you want to eliminate in total? Right, because there's only one champion. Right, so that means we want to eliminate. That means we want to eliminate another 31 teams. Okay, so we need to play 31 games. Right? But here you need to be very careful. Okay, sometimes the question says the third place and the fourth place will be determined. So that means you need to play an extra game. Okay, you need to play extra game between the third and the fourth. Okay, so let's calculate how many games in total here. So in this question, we got 16 participants. Right, divide into 4 groups. So that means four people in one group. Right, then they play single round robin. If they play single round robin, that means 6 games will be played in one group. Right, and we have 4 groups, so that's 6 times 4. Then 8 of them play the knockout. Right, 8 of them play the knockout will eliminate 7 players. So that's 7 games. But there will be a game between the third place and the fourth place. So we have an extra game here. Alright, so this is 32. Okay, so I'll move on to the second last question. This is about the average. Okay, so when you see the average problem, you need to think about the total. Okay, so what you get is average times the number of people will give you the total. Right? Another important concept in the average is that average is people who have more give people who have less. Okay, so here is the idea we use to solve this. Okay, so we'll use a rectangle graph. Let's say this is the overall average. And the girls is lower than the overall by 1 mark. Okay, so I show this. This is 1 mark. This is the girls. Now, how about the boys? The boys are 2 marks above the overall. So this part is 2 marks above the overall. Okay, so what we can know from the graph is, right, the area, the blue shaded area will be equal to the red shaded area. Okay, so from this we can get the blue shaded area is 2 times the number of boys, and the red shaded area is 1 times the number of girls. So we can get the ratio, right? The ratio between girls and boys is equals to 2 to 1. Right? The number of girls equals to 2 times the number of boys. Okay, so now you can try to apply the assumption method. So basically, what you do is you assume this is 2 unit and this 1 unit. Assume girls also only have 1 unit people. Okay, so that means girls will get 900 total marks. 900 total marks. Right, so there is a difference between the total score of boys and girls. Girls got 900, boys got 942. Okay, so where does this 42 comes from? Where does this 42 come from? You need to think about this, okay? The 42 comes from the average, difference in the average score. Okay, so we move on to the last question. This is the last question in P3 paper. Okay, so this one we can work backwardly. We can work backwardly, so you need to do some enumeration to find the pattern. This is basically a pattern. Okay, so after the 2017, Jenny has 10, right? Jenny has 10 and Yamato has 8. Okay, then we consider about the last one. The last one, because the rule is the person with more give the person with fewer, right? So what we can get is 14 and 4. You need to do some try, okay? You need to try this, right? Because another possibility is 5 and 13. But 5 and 13, is impossible because we cannot go back to the 2015. Right, I see one question about the ratio. Right, ratio is basically, I said, the number of girls is 2 units, the number of girls is 2 units, and the number of boys is 1 unit. So this is the ratio. And so we go back to 2015. 2015, we continue 16, 2. And 2014, right, 2014, you can see actually this is 8, 10. Okay, and you need to do some work. Okay, I'm doing this because we don't have much time left. So 2013, what you will get is 4, 14. All right, 2012, you will get 2 and 16. And 2011, you'll get 10, 8. Okay, so you can see the pattern here. 6 times in a group. And we have 6 times in a group. So that means all we need to do is to find out how many groups are there. So divide by 6. This will be equals to 336, remainder 1. Okay, so that means after the first operation, after the first one, it will be 10 and 8. So we go back. All right, we go back to the original. The original got 2 different cases. All right, you see here, we got 2 different cases. 14, 4, or also 5 and 13. But look at the question, who got more in the beginning? Jenny has fewer candies than Yamato. All right, so that means Yamato has more candies. So this one is our answer. All right, so that is all the questions in P3 TASMO paper. So I'll give the position to teacher Turner to go through the TASMO P4 paper. Okay.
Hello everyone, so finally I'm coming. Yeah, so everyone, you can have maybe 2 minutes break and I will run through all the questions. Not all the questions, but some difficult question about TASMO P4 paper. Okay? So, can I have a break first and I will show you. Hey, since everyone here, so basically I don't want to run through all the questions and I can just start from the last 2 questions first. So because maybe it's the first time you meet this kind of open question. So we need to write down all the process here. And for example, about this one, yeah. This one is talking about geometry. So about geometry, the most important thing is about the area. So the area, from after reading the question, you can know we have AD equals to 8. and BC equals to 12, and CD equals to 6. And E is the midpoint. So actually, we can write it by this one is 4, and this one is 4. Also, we know CD equals to 6. Yeah, right? So, but we don't know G is any point, but we know F actually is 2 over 3 point of BC. So BF equals to 2 over 3 BC. So maybe this one is apart from A, and this one is 2A, and BC is 12. Actually, we can calculate. This one is 4, this one is 8. Okay, so we need to find out the area. But yeah, this one, yeah, correct. It's easy to write. So this one, we know the area of DEG equals to the area of CFG. So we can write down first the triangle's area DEG equals to triangle's area CFG. Okay, so how we can find out it? So let's look at the DEG first. DEG is this one times height divided 2. So actually it's 4 times DG divided by 2 equals to 1. So let's find out CFG. So, So this one CFG actually is CF times CG divided by 2. So do we know CF? Yes. CF is 4 times CG divided by 2. Actually, we can, from this equation, we know DG equals to CG and equals to what? Yeah, because DG equals to CG, which means G is the midpoint of DC. So we can also write down it equals to 1 over 2 DC. So do you know 1 over 2 DC equals to what? Yeah, we know CD equals to 6 centimeter. So this one is just 3 centimeter. Okay, so 3 centimeter. Now we need to calculate what? So remember, we need to calculate the area of triangle ABG. So the area of triangle ABG actually is the big trapezium as trapezium ABCD minus triangle's area ADG and minus triangle's area CBG. Okay, you use the bigger one to minus one part and minus the other part. You can find out the triangle's area of ABG. So actually, this one is very easy to calculate. The above plus the bottom line and times the height divided by 2. Actually, it's 1 over 2 times 8 plus 12 and times 6 minus 1 over 2 times 8 times 3 and minus 1 over 2 times 12 times 3. After that, you can find out the answer. So this one is very easy, but just test you need to write down the step, all the steps, step by step, and don't forget anyone. So maybe actually I need to tell you the point. So actually for the section C, I think teacher Mark have already tell you about section C. You need to write down all the things step by step, and so maybe I give you someone. For example, this question is 15 mark. And I need to, for example, this step, you write it down. Actually, this is question. I won't give you any mark. So for example, you write down this. Yeah, this one, I maybe give you 3 points. And after that, you find out G is the midpoint. So this one is very, very important things. Maybe I will give you 6. And also you write down all the things, this equation and this equation. I will give you, maybe I give you 3. So after that, we still have 3 marks just for the answer. If you got answer correct, but all the program says you are wrong, I won't give you any marks. Okay? So this is about the last question. So also, let's look at this one. So this one, I think most of you guys have already read this question. Yeah. So actually, you read it again. I will show you 2 methods to do it. So the first method, we know Carol and Alice and Bob, so they will have a break in the integer minutes. So if both of Alice and Bob run 2 times 3 equals to 6 minutes distance, so Alice will have a break. Alice will break 1 times 3 equals to 3 minutes. And Bob will have a break 2 times 2 equals to 4 minutes. Which means, yeah, if we have a long distance, in average, if we run the same distance, the Alice will have less break than the Bob, and also Alice speed will faster. Okay, so after you know that, we can see the first question. If Alice 12 minutes not see Bob, which means Alice won't meet Bob anymore. And Alice meet Bob at the last time is just Alice have a break and they want to go. And also Bob arrived at the place, he have a break. So actually both Alice and Bob will run the same time and have a break at the same time. So if Bob have a break 2 minutes after Alice have a break of 2 minutes, the distance will become, both of them run 6 times 2 divided by 4 minus 3 equals to 12 minutes distance. Okay? So after that, if Alice and Bob meet at the last time, it will take 2 plus 1 and then times 12 divided by 2 equals to 18 minutes. So here is the first question, and now let's look at the second one. We need to find out what were the speeds of these three people. So what's the speed? So we know after 12 minutes, it seems they depart about 18 plus 12 equals to 30 minutes. And Alice meet who? Yeah, meet Carol. So after they meet Carol, actually Carol have already run 30 minutes. So 30 divided by 2 plus 1 equals to 10. Yeah. And we know Alice will run 2 times 10 equals to 20 minutes. So how long will the Bob run? So 30 divided by 3 plus 2 equals to 6. Which means Bob will run 3 times 6 equals to 18 minutes. After that, we know Alice and Carol will, the distance of Alice and Carol, between Alice and Carol and Bob, the distance will be 20 minus 18 equals to 2 minutes distance. So in these 2 minutes, yeah, Bob have already have a break and want to start. Yeah, Bob, how long will the Bob have a break? 2 minutes. Which means Bob and Carol will meet 2 divided by 1 equals to 1 minute. After 1 minute, Bob and Carol will meet. Which means Carol will run 72 meters in 1 minute. Carol run 72 minutes in 1 minute. So do we know the speed? Yeah, their speed is just 72 meters per minute. Okay, also now let's look at the question 3. So about question 3, we need to find out how far apart from A and B. Actually, when Alice and Carol meet, they will run in total 30 plus 20 equals to 50 minutes. So we know the total time is 50 minutes. So the distance is just 50 times 72 equals to 3,600 meters. Okay, so here is the answer. And I want to show you another method, which means maybe another method is much better for you to understand this question. Actually, another method is maybe use the table. Yeah, we can use the table to help you analyze this question. So we know, yeah, I have enough distance. So we know Alice run 2 minutes and have a break 1 minute, which means we can see 3 minutes as a period. Okay, so about Bob, will run 3 minutes and have a break 2 minutes. So it will take 5 minutes as a period. So actually 3 times 5 equals to 15, which means after 15 minutes they will meet. So now let's look at that. I can write down a table for you. Remember this? I can write down a table for Alice and Bob. So this one is time. This one is Alice distance. And this one is Bob distance. And we know, yeah. For example, this way is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So for Alice distance, it should be 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 10, 10. And for Bob's distance will be 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 9. So we know in one period, Alice will run one part faster than Bob. So in the first period, we know when Alice and Bob meet, the last time should be 15 plus 3 equals to 18 minutes. Okay? After that, we know here is the first question. About the second one, we want to calculate what were the speeds of these 3 people. After reading the question, we can know. We can know Alice and Bob will meet after 18 plus 12 equals to 30 minutes. And 30 divided by 15 exactly 2 period. So for this 2 period, we can see the distance from Bob and Carol is just the distance between Alice and Bob, which is 1 times 2 equals to 2 parts. So 2 parts. And Bob run 1 part. Carol run another part. So yeah, 72 is just 1 part. So 72 in 1 minute, the speed is just 72 meter per minute. Okay, so now let's look at the question 3. Question 3, we know, when Alice and Carol meet, they will run in total 10 times 2 plus 30 equals to 50 part. So which means the distance between A and B is just 72 times 50 equals to 3,600 meter. So this one is very hard for you to understand, and I think you should read the question first, and after that to analyze how Alice, Bob, and Carol run. After that, you can write down all the things, maybe use the table, maybe you can just calculate to find out the answer. Okay, so now let's look at some easier questions. So in our part 2 is about fill in the blank. About filling in the blank question, the last one is calculate something about divisibility. And so maybe you first look at this question, it's very hard, and you need to, maybe I will see Okay, do I need to calculate all the things? So do I need to calculate all the things? Actually, no. You need to find out the pattern. So for example, 1, of course, the last digit is still 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So about 2 to the 2023, we just look at the last digit. So maybe I can write here. So 2 is 2, and 2 times 2, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 8 times 2, 6. 6 times 2, it will become, the last digit should become 2. And we know, maybe, is it 4 or 5 number as a pattern? Okay, let's try 3 to the 2023. So 3 to the 2023, the first one is 3, 9, 7, 1, and 3. So how about 4? 4 will be 4, 6, 4, 6, 4. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe you will have already, you need to find out 5. About 5 is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. And about 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. And about 7, it will be 7, 9, 3, 1, and 7. This one is something 1, something 2, something to the power 3, something to the power 4, and something to the power 5. So this one, yeah, 8, 4, 2, and blah, 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 blah. Okay, maybe after that, you may have already find out the pattern. Actually, the pattern is just the 1, 8, 7, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 9, 0, 1, 8, 7, and blah, 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 blah. So this one is a group. This one, 10 numbers. So 10 numbers is a group. So about 2023, you divide by 10, actually is what? And the remainder, 3. So after you calculate this part, after you calculate, okay, sorry. So this one, you need to find out 2023. Divide by 4 equals to 505, remainder 3. So the last one is just this 2, 3. And you can find out the sum. The sum actually, the last digit is 5, and 5 times 2, 0, 2, 0. The last digit is still 0. So we only need to find out 1 plus 8 plus 7 equals to what? Actually equals to 16. So the last digit should be 6. So this one is about divisibility, and also we have a question to test this knowledge point. So I will show you this one. Yeah, I think is okay. So I think the answer, it's our question 13. So question 13, you need to find out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and blah 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 to something. And something n, right? So it can exactly divide it by 90. So can exactly divide by 90. So about 90 is just the 9 times 10. So I can give you the hint. The last digit is just 0, right? So the last digit is just 0. So n should be something 0. It's a kind of 2-digit number or maybe 3-digit number. Okay, after that, you can calculate the whole things. It can be divided by 9. And you find out the sum can divide by 9, so the number can divide by 9. And you can try and find out the answer. Also, there is a many kind of geometry problems. So about geometry problem, you see this one, yeah, right. So this one we need to know the integral angles for about the regular shape. So for example, this one is a regular hexagon and a regular pentagon. So a regular pentagon, we know the sum of all the integral angles is what? It's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Pentagon is just 5 minus 2 and times 180 degrees and divide by 5. Okay, so 代言人. So which part you don't understand? Okay, you can tell me. So So this one, yeah, I will just continue. So we can know that each angle is how many degree? It's just 108 degree. And about the hexagon, we have 6 sides, right? So 6 minus 2 times 180 divided by 6 equals to what? Equals to 120 degrees. So we know this part is 120, right? So this part is also 120. We know this line is equals to this line. So this angle is just this triangle is isosceles triangle. So for isosceles triangle, we know this one is 120 degree. So this one should be 30 degree. And we know, let's look at this triangle. So this triangle, this angle is just a 108 degree. Also, this is kind of isosceles triangle, right? So we know this is how many degree? It's just a 180 minus 108 divided by 2 equals to 36 degree. So this one is 36 degree. So the angle BAC is just 120 degrees minus 30 degree minus 36 degree. So the answer is just sorry, this one is 108. Goes wrong. Because we just look at this angle, right? So 108 degree minus 30 minus 36. The answer is 42 degree. Okay. So this one is also very. So now we can look at another about geometry question. I think it's very hard for you. It's not very hard. It's just a very complex for you to write down all the situation. So for example, after reading the question, we know we have 4 small rectangles and 1 is square. So remember that square is also a kind of rectangles. And we know 4AD plus 4AB. It's just the 20 plus 22 plus 24 and plus 26. So the answer is just 92. And we know AD plus AB equals to 23, right? AD plus AB is just divided by 4 equals to 23. Now, after that, we know only 1 is a square. So we need to think about first step. If P, I use P to represent the parameter, and this one P, AEOH equals to 20 is a square, which means AE equals to AH equals to 5. And the parameter of OFCG equals to 26. If P EBFO equals to 22, EB should equals to 6, and HD equals to 7. It's okay, right? So we can calculate the length of ABCD. It's just 5 plus 6 and times 5 times 7 equals to 132. This one is area, sorry. Right? Okay, so actually all the things in there. So now let's look at another step. So if AEOH equals to 22, we know AE should equals to AH equals to 5.5 and POFCG equals to 24. And if PEBFO equals to 20, then we can know EB equals to 4.5 and HD equals to 7.5. So the area of ABCD is just 5.5 plus 4.5 and times 5.5 plus 7.5 equals to 130. The area is just 130. Also, you need to think about the third one. If AEOH equals to 24, and also the fourth type, if PAEOH equals to 26, and blah 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 blah. You need to think about twice. After that, you can find our answer is just still 130 and 132. Now you can just find out the answer is 130 or 132. Okay, this one is about geometry, and also I remember still one question about geometry, right? This one. Some question about geometry actually is very easier, and some of the geometry is very hard. So now we can just look at the question 7. Where is question 7? Okay, here is the question 7. So we need to find out the triangle's area of EFH, this part, right? So this part, we just know AEG, right? So area of AEG, this part is 64, right? So we can know the area of CDFE is just 64 minus 64 times 1 over 2, because all the things is midpoint, right? So midpoint, so we just minus this part. This part is just the half of the triangle, so actually it's 32. Now we can just say the area of EFH is just 32 divided by 2 equals to 16. So this one, yeah, also very easy. Yeah, so let me see what's the other things. Yeah, this one. About geometry and our question 3. So question 3, you know, this one is a kind of butterfly model. This one times should be equal. This one times should be equal. This one times should be equal, which means 27 times 36. This one is 8, okay, equals to 18 times 8. And this one is B. So we can know 18 times B equals to 42 times 27. So this one is C. B times C equals to 42 times 108. After that, you calculate all the things and plus it together. You can find out the answer is just 420. Also, I can tell you another method. It's very easy for you to calculate. Another method is just guess. You see 36, 18, and 42. 36, 18, and 42. And use the white letter to find out the highest common factor. So divide by 6 equals to 6. This one is 3, and this one is 7. So actually the highest common factor is just 6. So this one is 6, this one is 3, and this one is 7. After that, we know 6 times 3 equals to, this one is also 3. So which means this length is 9. And this one, yeah, 6 times 9, 54. And this one, 7 times 9, 63. And this one, 6 times what? Yeah, 108 divided by 9 equals to what? 1, 2. So this one should be 1, 2 times 6 equals to 72. And you plus it together. Also, you can find out the answer. So one thing I need to mention, this one, yeah, the question 4. Question 4, actually you need to correct the answer B. Actually the answer B is not 10.25, or you don't have the correct answer. So for example, Alice, the first month will have 25 cents, and the second month will have 24 times 4, and the third month will have 25 times 5, right? And blah, 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 blah. We need to find out 6 months, right? In total, 6 months. So it will be 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, plus 9, and times 25 equals to 10 to 5. So actually we will have, 0.50. Actually we have $10.5 here. Okay. So I think now let's continue. So actually all the question is not so hard. Yeah, this one. Question 11. I also want to run through question 11. Maybe you will find out the answer is not correct. Yeah, correct. So this one you need to think about twice. So what's the difference? So actually this one we have 2 answers. right? So actually, when recording Bob's and this one with Carol. When recording Bob's money, Alice accidentally wrote the 100th digit 9 as 4. So Bob. The correct one maybe is 8, 9, C, D. And the wrong one is A, 4, C, D. And about Carol, the first one is, the correct one is E, F, 2, G. And the wrong one is E, F, 8, G. Yeah. Also, we know the difference of the wrong one. Where is the wrong one? The difference of the wrong one is 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So we know E, F, maybe 8, G. I need to use the bad pen. So E, F, 8, G minus A, 4, C, D should equals to 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So, and we need to calculate E, F, 2, G minus A, 9, C, D equals to what? Or maybe you need to find out A, 9, C, D minus E, F, 2, G equals to what? And we don't know who is bigger, right? Also consider A, 4, C, D minus E, F, 8, G equals to 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is condition 1, and this one is condition 2. Hey, oh yeah, I need the wrong. This one, yeah, should combine with 2 equation, right? So this one, you find out one answer, and also this one, you find out another answer. So that's why I said this question has 2 answers. You need to have a check. Okay? So yeah, also we will test about the clock question. So about clock question, this one is not a good clock, right? So yeah, this one to 24 hours, and a requirement that each person stands right twice a day, and each shift requires 1 person. If each shift change occurs previously, 1 the hour and minute hand on a clock. This one is very important. Overlap. So in 1 day, you need to know the hour hand run 2 rounds, and the minute hand will run 24 rounds. So which means the overlap should be 24 minus 2 equals to 22. And each time we need 2 people. So 22 divided by 2 equals to 11. So the answer is just 11 soldiers. Okay, I think the hardest one, I just run through all the hard questions. So any more questions? Okay, any new question? Question 17, right? So let me see. Let me see. Question 17. Two teams operate repairing 1 ward and a fund of $2.4 million based on the distance to be prepared respectively. According to the original plan, A was supposed to receive $1 million, right? So however, during the actual construction, B ended up requiring 1,000 meter more per day. So the efficiency of B minus A should be 1,000 meter. And finally received, then we know B received 1.5 million. Okay, so find the length of road A repaired per day during the construction. So we know this one. You know, if we can assume 1 meter X money. So supposed to be, so we need to plan. For example, maybe A plan to have, we know 1 meter, 1 million. So it should be how many meter? Can anyone tell me? 1 divided by X. Or something, right? So is it 1 divided by X or 1 times X? You know, 1 meter X many. So 1 million. So I can just assume this one. Yeah, X million dollar. Okay? So 1 meter X million. So 1 million, how many meter? Can anyone tell me? One over X, right? 1 over X meter. And for B, now B will have how many million? 1.5 million, right? 1.5 million dollars. So how many minutes? How many meter? So 1 meter X million. Now X times what become 1.5. So X will time X 1.5 over X. So actually B will have 1.5 over X million meter. So we know B ended up requiring 1,000 meter per day. So actually, how many more day? How many more day? Can anyone tell me? Anyone tell me? Can find out the answer? Okay, Betty, are still here? Hello, are you still here? Okay, also you need to assume how many days? And how many days for B? After that, you're still here. And you know you need to assume another one, and remember the day times the efficiency plus day times B's efficiency should equals to 1. Yeah, you can just assume 1 is the total distance. After that, you find out, you use this one, relationship, and this relationship. We know the ratio of A to B is just the 1 to 1.5. And use this condition, you can find out the answer. Okay, so later I will maybe give all the students a run through of that about the PDF solution. Yeah, also this one. But this one I also want to mention. This one is not so hard, but just I don't want you guys to get wrong in the real test. Okay, so this one is actually test your principle or value principle. So you need to find out which one, where is the, for example, A, B, C, D plus A, B, C equals to 2, 0, 2, 4. And A can be what? B can be what? Then actually you find out this one, A can only be 1, right? And then B plus A to calculate. So can B be 9? No, of course not. Because B be 9, this one cannot be 2, right? So actually B can only be 8. So which means B is 8. If I want the last digit be 2, this one C should be 4. And C is 4, D can be what? D can actually only be 0. So 1 times 8 plus 4 times 0. The answer is just B, 8. Okay, I think here is the today's question, and all the other questions very easy. I don't want to run through all the questions. So maybe I hope all you guys can get a good mark in our real TASMO paper.